The mop bucket squeaked across the gleaming lobby floor of Dawson Enterprises, its sound bouncing through the empty midnight air. The skyscraper's glass walls sparkled with city lights outside, but inside it was silent, just the rhythmic swish of a janitor's mop and the faint hum of fluorescent lights. James Carter pressed the mop forward, sweat dampening his collar. 36 years old, tall but slightly stooped from years of labor, he had the look of a man carrying the world on his back. His hands were rough, his knuckles cracked from harsh cleaning chemicals, but his eyes, though weary, still carried a gentle warmth. He glanced at his phone. A photo of his daughter, Lily, smiled back at him from the cracked screen. 9 years old, gap-toothed and bright-eyed, she was the reason he pushed himself to work 2 shifts, 7 days a week. Ever since her mother died 3 years ago, James had become both father and mother, protector and provider. He couldn't give Lily luxury, but he gave her something rarer, love that never wavered. The building was mostly deserted at this hour, save for the occasional late-working executive. That's why James froze when the elevator dinged and, to his disbelief, Evelyn Dawson herself stepped into the lobby. Everyone in New York knew her name. Evelyn Dawson, the billionaire CEO of Dawson Enterprises, one of the most powerful women in America. People whispered about her in hushed tones, ruthless, brilliant, untouchable. Reporters called her the Ice Queen. James had seen her face in magazines, on TV, on billboards towering over Times Square. But to see her here, in person, this close, was surreal. She was taller than he expected, elegant in a long black coat, her heels clicking against the marble like thunderclaps. Her presence filled the space, commanding, intimidating. She was about to sweep past him when their eyes met. For a moment, time froze. "Good evening, ma'am," James said quietly, lowering his head in respect. Evelyn's cold gaze flicked to the mop in his hands, the exhaustion in his posture. She should have kept walking. But something in his face stopped her. Something real. Something different from the polished sycophants she faced every day. "Why are you still here this late?" she asked, her voice sharper than intended. James blinked. Cleaning shift, ma'am. Someone has to keep the building shining." Evelyn tilted her head, studying him. "You look like you've been on your feet for hours." He gave a faint smile. "Most days, yes. My little girl likes to say I make the city sparkle." The corner of Evelyn's lips twitched, her first almost smile in months. "You have a daughter?" "Yes, ma'am. Lily. She's 9. Smartest, funniest kid you'll ever meet. She's my whole world." His voice softened, and that unguarded tenderness cut through Evelyn's armor like nothing else could. There was silence between them, broken only by the buzz of the lights. For reasons she didn't understand, Evelyn felt compelled to say, "Come with me." "Upstairs." James stiffened. "Ma'am? I need to talk to you," she said firmly. It wasn't a request. Confused, nervous, but too polite to refuse, James followed her into the elevator, mop still in hand. The mirrored walls reflected an odd pair, the billionaire CEO in her designer coat, and the janitor in his worn uniform, clutching a cleaning tool like a shield. On the top floor, Evelyn led him into her vast office. The room overlooked the city like a throne above the world. James stood awkwardly on the expensive carpet, afraid to leave footprints. "Sit," Evelyn ordered, gesturing at a leather chair. "Oh, no, I shouldn't." "Sit," she repeated, her tone brooking no argument. Reluctantly, James sat, mop across his knees. Evelyn leaned against her desk, arms crossed, eyes sharp as if dissecting him. "Tell me about your daughter," she said. James frowned. "Why do you want to know?" "Because," she replied after a pause, "most people I meet talk about money, power, or ambition. You talked about family." Slowly, James's face softened as he thought of Lily. "She's amazing. Loves to draw. Covers our fridge with pictures of unicorns and superheroes. She's been through more than any kid should, but she still smiles every day. I don't know how she does it. Every time I want to give up, she reminds me why I can't. Evelyn didn't interrupt. She listened. Really listened. Something about the way he spoke, unpolished, sincere, without any agenda, felt like a foreign language to her. She'd lived her life in boardrooms filled with lies and half-truths, but this man, he was genuine. The clock ticked quietly as minutes stretched into an hour. James spoke of struggles, late rent, second jobs, sleepless nights. But he also spoke of small joys, Lily's laughter, bedtime stories, silly knock-knock jokes. Evelyn found herself captivated. Finally, James glanced at the clock and panicked. I need to get back. If my supervisor notices I'm gone too long. I'll take care of it, Evelyn said smoothly. He stood, gripping his mop. Thank you, ma'am. For listening. Not many people do. As he reached the door, Evelyn's chest tightened unexpectedly. She didn't want him to leave. James, she called. He turned. Come back tomorrow night. Same time. He hesitated. You want to talk to me again? Yes. Her answer was steady, though inside she didn't know why. She only knew she wanted to. That night, James walked home through quiet streets, his thoughts tangled. Why would the CEO of Dawson Enterprises want to spend time with a janitor? Yet, for the first time in years, he felt seen. When he entered their small Queens apartment, Lily was asleep on the couch, clutching her sketchbook. He kissed her forehead, tucked her in, and whispered, "You're my reason, kiddo." But in the back of his mind, Evelyn Dawson's piercing eyes lingered. The next night, James returned to her office. And the next. And the next. Slowly, a fragile friendship formed between two people from different worlds, one bound by love and sacrifice, the other by power and loneliness. Evelyn found herself asking about Lily's favorite colors, favorite foods, her dreams. James found himself glimpsing Evelyn's humanity, her regrets, her isolation, her fear of being loved for who she was instead of what she had. One night, Evelyn surprised him by kneeling beside him as he mopped the floor. "Show me how to do it," she said. James chuckled. "You? Mop a floor?" "Why not?" she challenged, but her smile was real. That night, the Ice Queen laughed for the first time in years as water splashed across her expensive shoes. It should have been impossible. But piece by piece, wall by wall, their hearts began to shift. And then, one night, Evelyn's voice trembled as she whispered words no one could have predicted. "Will you marry me?" James froze, mop in hand, staring at her as if the world had spun off its axis. The billionaire CEO of Dawson Enterprises had just proposed to a single dad janitor. And what James did next was unthinkable.